everybody, welcome back to my channel. For those of you that don't know, my name is Sabrina and I run a clothing brand called Wasio Clothing, and I hand make everything myself. We are a size inclusive brand. We make every size custom to your measurements for no extra charge, and I'm going to take you through my week as a made-to-order clothing brand. One of the first things I really need to address today, since this is the beginning of my work week, is cleaning up the studio. I have a lot of half-finished things floating around, and overall it's just been very distracting for me to work within. So I've decided that today I am just going to try and power clean this place and make it more suitable for a work environment. It's that point in the day where I just look around and I'm so grateful to have this studio space. There's a lot of stuff that maybe one day I'll share, but for now I'm just gonna keep all of those cons to the space to myself. But I just got out of therapy and I feel really good about that session, and I'm going to start sewing a puffer that I'm half finished with. I've got this last arm piece to puff. These coats are quite labor intensive, as you'll see when I do the montage, but essentially I have to individually sew on each cloud that holds the stuffing in place, therefore makes it a puffer coat. It's made with a lot of love, and I'm expected to finish this one today and then start and get about halfway through another one. Once I get all of the stuffing set in, the actual assembly is pretty quick. I've got that down to a T. Without further ado, let's make the most of what we got left in the day. about 6:30 now, so I've pretty much fully assembled the coat in terms of stuffing all the pieces. Now I just have to sew them all together. So before I do that, I am going to eat some dinner. I don't know. This is technically my lunch. So
is the Russian people themselves.
I just realized I should probably show you because, you know, you've been watching this whole time. Here it is. I have it all set up, ready to be packaged for shipment. That's why it looks like that, but here it is. Now I'm starting another puffer. And one of the first things that I need to do, I have my seamstress Johanny cut out the pattern pieces, and then I go in and create appliques of the clouds. Essentially what I do is I create little stickers out of this, and basically I iron these on before I sew in everything. I get myself a chunk of fabric, and then I also get the same size of fabric in fusible interfacing. So this is essentially like glue. Once you apply heat to it, it melts and it adheres to whatever it's being heated against. So what I've learned is that if I adhere this to the fabric, and then on the other side of the fabric I have wax paper or parchment paper, I create essentially a big sheet that is a sticker. And then from there I can take my cloud pattern piece or applique piece and trace it out, and then I can sit there and cut it out. Very long process. I have to literally individually cut out every single cloud. There's about 11 to 13 clouds on every puffer. So then once I've individually cut out all of those, then I take off the back and I iron it onto the actual fabric that is of the cloud puffer. And then I go in and I sew it and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
about 1:15. Last night, as I was ironing out my pieces for the next puffer that I'm about to make, I realized that one of the front pieces was cut incorrectly, so that kind of put a roadblock in my work. Not sure if this is common, but for me, when I'm sewing, if something that disrupts the flow happens, I just lose all motivation. As soon as I realized that one of the pieces was not correct, I was just like down for the count, going home, not worrying about this right now. One of the first things I need to do is cut out 2 of these on water resistant fabric because this puffer is a water resistant puffer. But before we do that, gotta tidy up. Piece that I need to recut. Is it a happy day every day that I come here and say happy day? Maybe. I do believe I got some footage last night, but I did develop a new design. I got tired of just sewing clouds on, and I granted myself an hour designing at the end of my workday yesterday. So unfortunately, corsets are on the way out. I had a really hard time stomaching this fact because my corset pattern is not only like the most perfected pattern that I have in my size range, but it's also my best selling item. So it feels very counterintuitive to stray away from that. But I wanted to use the perfected princess seam pattern that I have in my corsets and create a new top. So this is in the works. It's nowhere near ready, but essentially it's just going to be, and I already did a pattern adjustment from this sample, so don't come for me with the fit issues. But essentially it's just gonna be a princess seam dart on both sides, neckline kind of higher, and then it's gonna tie up in the back. That way I don't have to go through the process of grommeting a corset. So for me, it's taken me a very long time to learn how to try to think with a lens of cost efficiency with also balancing the uniqueness of things. I find that when I limit myself with the actual intricacy of the design, I feel like I'm stifling my creativity. So I've just been trying to teach myself that that's not the case. You can be creative, and there is creativity within creating clothing with affordability in mind. So that's been a huge process that I've been trying to perfect. It's gonna take time, and you know, it's a transition that I'm trying to get my brand into. Doesn't mean that these kind of pieces are gonna go away. I'm just going to be charging more, and by charging more, I'm just going to be charging what it actually costs to make something. So, you know, you live and you learn when you're a self-made clothing brand. So I am going to finish up. This is the last cloud puffer. I really cannot stress enough how excited I am that this cloud puffer is going to be my last. And then if I have time, I would like to also package everything so that it's ready to go out first thing tomorrow morning. We're getting it done. We're getting it done. It is now exactly 3:28. It took me a little bit longer than usual to stuff and set the coat and all the puffs. I don't know if that's just because they are bigger clouds, but for whatever reason, it took me a little bit longer than usual. But now I have all of my stuffed pieces. This is what it looks like. Just literally a bunch of pieces of clothing that I now have to assemble together.